Hello and welcome back to Balanced Psychologies. As always, I hope that you're doing really well. So today's video, it is a bit of an odd one. I'm talking about narcissistic sexual secrets, or things that narcissists do in that dynamic. Now, I have done a video all about this like a few years ago, so this is basically a continuation of that. So many of you ask me about this. This is kind of like a topic that I know that you want to kind of know about, and I have kind of put off broaching the subject because I still struggle to understand all the concepts in this. But I guess a lot of it has to tie in with the attachment disorder or the objectification that I talk so much about on the videos. I'm going to talk about why this happens, what's going on, why it's happening in those moments. Maybe it might help. But anyway, let's get into the video and let's talk about these kind of secrets or these sexual things or behaviors that narcissists do that we just basically don't understand. Okay, so let's face it, the sexual relationship that you've had with a narcissist is the most peculiar experience that you probably will ever have in your life. You struggle to understand what is going on here. One time it's all full on, then it's not at all, then it's nothing. Then you find them watching pornography. It feels kind of stale, it feels fake. You might feel very upset and lonely and empty and hollow in this dynamic. You feel like possibly you are being used. The narcissist might even be full on and demand that you kind of subdue to the interaction when they want to, and you kind of do, because you know it's like few and far between. You don't know when the next episode will be, but what you do is you kind of see yourself as a servant, or you feel like you have to kind of be on their beck and call. And it's not about your preferences, it's about the narcissist's preferences and what they want. They kind of feel very entitled to take that from you. How is it that they make us feel like this, and why? You know what, I can't really answer that question with conviction, whether they do understand what they are doing. But what I will do is I will try and answer it and apply basically psychological theory and perhaps maybe give examples so that it kind of makes sense. The narcissist's attitude towards sex is one of avoidance but obsessive. They don't want to feel like they want you or they need another person to pleasure them, but they need it. So it's kind of like, if you look at it, they want you, but they don't want you. They don't want somebody else to make them feel those feelings. That's because those feelings are associated with guilt and shame. So because of the reason why they feel like that is because they have something called a split psyche. Narcissists are unable to be in touch with their inner selves and rationally understand these feelings as something that is natural and wholesome. What they do feel is a guilt. Now, I'm going to talk about this split psyche. There's a separatedness between the two. Now, this all stems from the attachment disorder, being able to attach in a relationship in a healthy way. So in order to be able to attach, bond, or relate in a healthy way, you need to be able to be authentic and in touch with your inner feelings. So you need to come to this relationship in an authentic way. So in order for you to do that, you need to be in touch with your inner self. So they can't rationally understand that. If we go back in time to when they were children, this is where the split psyche basically happened. They understood very quickly that their primary caregiver, such as their parent or parents, didn't like them the way that they were. There was always some kind of condition to the way that they were growing up. So they had to change who they are. This is the split. Because they had to change who they are, they understood very quickly that their parents don't like them. So let's change. Let's do something that my parents will like. So if I be the person, if I mold myself into the person that my parents want me to be, then they're going to like me, then everything's going to be okay. So this is where they lose touch of reality, they lose touch of their real inner selves, and that's why they become somebody else. This is also portrayed, think about it, as they're adults, They come to this relationship, they're amazing, they're wonderful, they even mirror you, there's the love bombing, there's the gaslighting, what's reality, what's illusion, what's fantasy, we don't know, it's all blurred into one. Because of this split psyche, this is what happens. So it's not going to be any different when it comes to sexual behavior. A narcissist will enable you to feel all sorts of emotions about yourself. As a victim, you might even feel used in this dynamic, betrayed, disgusted with your appearance, your sexual identity is affected, you are led to believe all sorts of things about who you are that are basically not true. So what happens is this kind of sexual energy that you feel in this dynamic, that is taken over, like that is lost. Your sexual identity in this relationship is lost because it's kind of like the narcissist takes over. Whether they become really sexual with you or withhold, either way, you lose your identity. And this is odd, isn't it? Because at the beginning of the relationship, they're all for it. Like, yeah, you know, this is amazing. And they feel really connected to you. But as time goes on, that happens less and less. And so you feel there's a huge distance between you and this person. And this really affects you because you feel like there's something wrong with you. Like you must be doing something wrong because this is the normal logical explanation. Like if you weren't doing something wrong, they wouldn't be acting like this or they wouldn't be behaving like this. But this is wrong. This is not actually what's going on here. And you know, sometimes it might be that this whole dynamic is reduced into kind of emotional immaturity. What I mean by this is, you know, at the beginning of the relationship, there's so much of this going on. There is this, you know, honeymoon phase, there is this lust, there's this attraction, and it's amazing. You feel like you're connected on a deeper level. But then as time goes on, there is this separatedness that happens. This attention and admiration basically isn't there anymore. It becomes less and less. And it feels like the narcissist is reduced kind of into childhood, into infancy, emotional immaturity, because what happens is they have no accountability to you. They don't want to have no responsibility towards you. So therefore, this attachment that you feel or this bond that you feel with this person becomes less and less. And it feels like they are looking for, or they might even be looking for, attention elsewhere, or they're looking for this kind of satisfaction elsewhere. And they don't want to invest in your relationship or in you anymore. And this is really hurtful. This is what really damages your own psyche, your own sense of self and your own self-worth. This is where I come to the sexual abuse bit. Narcissists have a strong tendency to sexually abuse a partner. Their partner's own sexual preferences will be ignored, banned, or twisted. The narcissist basically takes over. And what happens is in this phase, when they become disconnected from you, they will do so much that really hurts you. So for example, they might withdraw from sex altogether. They might withhold it, and it will only be done at times when they feel that that is necessary or when it's right for them to do that. And that is a form of manipulation. That is where it becomes abusive or controlling. That's what I talk about sexual abuse. It is used as a control. It is used as a form of manipulation. The narcissist might even have the tell-all kind of game where they talk about their exes, their sexual past experiences, and it will leave you like you have to try and measure up to someone from the past or someone that maybe doesn't even exist, but you don't know that at the time. So it makes you feel less than, which is leaving your self-worth basically in tatters. So this is the thing, you see, in these instances, the way that narcissist sees you is as an object, all right? It's an objectification. So they see you as something that something that satisfies them. You're used as an object, as a tool. Your body, your self-worth, your psyche, everything is used as a tool to kind of pleasure the narcissist. It is about pleasure, status, power. And it's only to reinforce to them that they are good enough, that they are liked, that you still fancy them, that you still want them. This is the emotional fuel that they're looking for. They don't understand that they have no idea what this is doing to you, and this is why they are continuing to do this, because they actually feel like this will help them. You are literally just a tool or a prop to make them feel better. Some narcissists even go as far as saying that they feel particularly unsettled by relationships, but they would feel better having a more casual sexual partner. This is all about their inability to connect. They see you as objects, they can't connect to you. They have this attachment disorder, they can't connect to you. Sex with a healthy person is about connection, is about attachment, it's about deepening that bond. When somebody has an attachment disorder, they can't do any of that. They can't connect to you on a deeper level, or on any level whatsoever. It's all very surface. So that's why you are used as a tool. So then this brings me on to something called the Madonna whore complex, which is something that Freud had talked about. What we're talking about here is complex, and it's basically the inability to maintain sexual arousal within a committed, loving relationship. So what Freud was talking about is this psychological complex is said to develop in men rather than in women. In women, we've got the Electra complex, which I will go on to in a moment. But what happens is there's this split. The Madonna and a whore, they're two different, it's a duality, okay? The Madonna is where men see their partners as saintly women, all right? And they worship them, they put them on a pedestal, but they cannot connect to them. They cannot desire them sexually because it's a sin to do that. Then you've got the whores, which are exactly what they say they are. They are the women who are there for desire, for sexual pleasure, for using as a sexual tool. In either part, whether you're a Madonna or a whore, there is no connection. It is about a tool and what these people represent, or what you represent to a narcissist. Dysfunction in the relationship between mother and son. And I can go even deep, we can go even deeper. It's to do with the displacement of love, the misunderstanding of love. This is part of the objectification. This is where the attachment disorder begins. The son cannot connect to the mother and doesn't have a bond with the mother. They love their mother because part or some of their needs are met, but not completely. So the son falls in love with the mother, but cannot desire them sexually, because on some level, they know that that is wrong. So this is the kind of love that they feel for their mother. It's a kind of a worship, but some of their needs are met and some of them are not. Then we go on to the other factor. You know, this is the splitting. So you're either in one camp or the other, never in both. So if you're a whore, well, then you're just used as a tool for sexual gratification. You will never be respected. You will never be worshipped. You are just there for that one thing. Okay, so then looking at a daughter-father dynamic, it's the same thing, but it's called an Electra complex. It's where the daughter cannot understand or connect to their father. So they see their father as somebody who is, they need to get authority from, that they need authority from, they need kind of looking after, and this is what happens, they kind of are reduced to childlike. So it is about a father taking care of, looking after, but there is no sex, there's no sexual feeling there. Then again is the splitting, and the woman will see men as sexual objects, simply as a tool. In both of these circumstances, what we're talking about here is, again, the attachment disorder. The bonding is all wrong, their inability to be able to relate in a way. So this is their understanding of love. Love is an object. Love is there as a purpose. You cannot connect. You are there to serve as a purpose. And that's the crux of the issue. That's why narcissistic men and women behave in these ways. It is one of the most oddest things, but it's not if you really understand the attachment disorder. If you wanted to do a little bit more reading about it, I would urge you just to kind of read a little bit more about what attachment disorder is, because this really helps to explain why these things happen. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've got the Patreon membership. All the details are down below in the description box. If you have a question for me, I can answer it in a Wizio. I can answer it in a video. Please check the Wizio link down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching and wish you all the best. Goodbye.